Anne Hegerty has never been the kind of celebrity who blends into the background. She doesn't need flashing lights, dramatic entrances, or elaborate speeches. All she needs is her sharp mind, her dry sense of humor, and that iconic raised eyebrow. That alone has made her a beloved figure on television for more than a decade. As the governess on The Chase, she became one of the show's most unforgettable personalities. From the minute she stepped into the quiz arena back in 2010, she took command of the screen. With her intelligence, quick wit, and unexpectedly warm charm, she went from being just another chaser to becoming a household name. Not only in the UK, oh no, Anne took her brilliance international, joining the Australian edition as well. Fans loved her brain. They loved her humor. They loved as she could silence a room with one look and then break into a sly half-smile that told everyone she was enjoying the moment far more than she let on. But while her professional life was full of excitement, applause, and worldwide admiration, the story behind her romantic life became an entirely different kind of headline, one that confused fans, fueled rumors, and left the world deeply curious about the woman behind the quiz legend. Anne's rise to stardom brought with it a growing fascination with her personal world. Viewers saw her conquer the jungle during her famous appearance on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. They saw her tackle challenges, care for others, and even surprise herself. But when it came to her love life, the mystery only seemed to deepen. She wasn't dating publicly. She wasn't posting photos with a partner. She wasn't hinting at a secret romance. And in a world where celebrities reveal everything from their breakfast to their breakups, Anne's quiet privacy became a magnet for wild speculation. And then came the moment that turned curiosity into chaos. A bizarre rumor that spread faster than wildfire. According to a vandalized Wikipedia page, Anne was suddenly rumored to be married to a man named Jake Hester, a name she had never heard in her life. When she appeared on a talk show soon after, the hosts confronted the rumor head-on. With her famously dry wit, Anne shut down the speculation instantly. "I have no idea who that is," she said. And she meant every word. Even her own brother joined in on the joke, texting her, "You need to introduce me to this guy." Anne laughed, rolled her eyes, and clarified the truth. She had never been married. She wasn't hiding a secret husband, and she wasn't living a double life. For Anne, romance simply wasn't something she felt pressured to chase. But her honesty didn't stop there. Over the years, Anne has opened up about her unique relationship journey, always with a refreshing and deeply human perspective. She didn't try to create a perfect fairy tale narrative. Instead, she talked openly about how she often struggled with the emotional side of relationships. Not because she didn't care, but because closeness sometimes felt overwhelming. During a road trip episode with her fellow chasers, she revealed that she often found it challenging to connect on the level most relationships require. She joked about her experiences, made light of her awkward moments, and kept the mood light. But behind the humor was a truth she wasn't afraid to acknowledge. In an interview, Anne admitted she sometimes felt unsure about her own feelings. She recalled moments where she thought she might be falling for someone, only to realize later that something just didn't click. She would meet someone, think she might be developing feelings, and then discover the reality didn't match the picture she had built in her mind. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't devastating. It was simply part of her journey, one she learned to embrace rather than fight. Anne also spoke about the challenges she faced in her longest relationship, which lasted only a few months. The distance between where she lived and where he lived didn't help, but the emotional distance became even more difficult.
She confessed that despite liking the person, she sometimes felt overwhelmed and disconnected, unsure of how to fit into the expectations of a traditional romance. Instead of forcing herself into a mold that didn't feel right, she chose honesty. She chose clarity. She chose peace. And in 2025, she made a confession that surprised many, but made perfect sense to her. She no longer wanted a romantic relationship. She said it with confidence, humor, and a sense of peace only she could deliver. "I used to want it, but I realized I wanted to want it more than I actually wanted the relationship itself." Fans admired her even more for this, because in a world where everyone seems pressured to find a partner, build a picture-perfect home, and fit into society's expectations, Anne chose something else, something bold, something freeing, something deeply real. She chose herself. She chose a home filled not with chaos or complicated expectations, but with comfort and calm. She chose hobbies she loved, routines that worked for her, and a lifestyle built around independence and authenticity. When asked if she wanted pets, she responded with her signature humor. "I have pot plants, and I mind when they die. That's enough responsibility for me." This wasn't loneliness. This wasn't sadness. This was a woman understanding exactly who she is and embracing it fully. Anne's story is not the typical celebrity love story filled with whirlwind romances or dramatic breakups. It's not a tale of heartbreak or loss. Instead, it's a story about knowing yourself deeply, honoring your boundaries, and refusing to let society define your happiness. Her romantic past may not follow the traditional path, but it is beautifully honest. She has walked away from expectations, stereotypes, and constant questions about when and who. She has created a life that fits her personality, balanced, peaceful, humorous, and grounded. And the best part? She's genuinely happy. Not the pretending for the cameras kind of happy, not the saying what people expect kind of happy, but the real, calm, contented happiness that comes from choosing your own path. Her fans love her for her intelligence, her humor, and her talent, but more than anything, they admire her for her authenticity. She stands as a reminder that love takes many forms, and that being single isn't a void. It's a valid, beautiful, and often empowering choice. Anne Hegerty's personal story isn't about what she lacks. It's about what she understands. It's about the courage to live honestly. It's about finding joy in your own company, and it's about celebrating the life that fits you, even when it surprises the world. For Anne, peace didn't come from a fairy tale romance. It came from discovering that she already had everything she needed.